In high-velocity markets, a sudden, aggressive price drop is designed to trap retail traders into panic selling right at the absolute bottom. This animated execution chart shows a sharp downward price spike, but look closely at the exact trough. An immediate reversal fires exactly at the bottom, registering what the DRW system calls a green arrow bull sweep. Moments later, as the price surges upward, a cyan diamond locks into place. This secondary signal confirms that a true macro bull expansion has begun. During this exact same price action, standard retail indicators are still churning through chaotic, lagging moving averages, completely missing the actual pivot point. The DRW V2.4 Unified Multi-Timeframe engine generates these geometric markers to expose true institutional order flow without the noise of standard crossovers. The primary failure point in standard cross-timeframe trading systems is an inherent one-bar transmission lag. This animated timeline diagram shows exactly how this delay functions. The top line represents a live price ticker moving ahead on the tape, while the standard data processing unit on the bottom is forced to analyze historical, closed-bar data, leaving it stuck one full timeframe unit behind. The fatal consequence of this lag is visible right here. By the time the processing block finally outputs an entry signal, institutional volume has already moved the market. The ideal entry is long gone. Standard moving average filters are simply too sluggish to survive in a high-frequency order book. Surviving high-velocity markets requires an architectural shift away from historical processing and into zero-latency streaming. Let's open up the back end of the V2.4 engine to see how it achieves this. The first architectural pillar of the V2.4 framework is the live tuple data stream. This pipeline diagram shows how hard-coding the engine to stream current bar data obliterates the standard one-bar delay. The discrete blocky data packets dissolve into a continuous, unbroken stream that syncs perfectly with a live price feed. Previous versions of the system struggled because secondary macro subchart calculations clashed, causing system drag. V2.4 permanently dissolves that legacy math. Now, the system processes all trend matrices and conditional breakouts simultaneously inside this single high-efficiency data stream. By fusing the inputs into a single current bar stream, the engine achieves true real-time processing of complex market dynamics. The second backend upgrade is exponential fusion optimization. When attempting to calculate market compression, standard simple average filters are naturally sluggish, dragging their feet when volatility shifts. On the left, a slow simple average. On the right, V2.4's highly reactive exponential matrix responds instantly to the volume bars below. Watch, the ribbon escapes a compressed channel the exact millisecond institutional volume hits the order book. This exponential speed delivers the necessary reaction time. But backend speed is useless without a rigorous structural logic to interpret the incoming data stream. This is where the 5-layer structural chassis comes in. It strips away arbitrary moving average numbers, assigning strict tactical engineering roles to each specific layer. This execution chart builds the chassis. Layer 1, the velocity line, tracks micro-momentum. Layer 2, the reaction line, tracks structural response. Layer 3 is the baseline anchor. Layer 4, the intermediate chassis, catches pullbacks. Finally, Layer 5, the macro shield, defines institutional regimes. By organizing the data this way, the 5-layer hierarchy translates raw price velocity into a highly organized, readable map of institutional behavior. A major risk is the false breakout. This simulation demonstrates when fast-moving micro price momentum fakes a move against the heavy underlying institutional flow. To solve this, the system incorporates a coarse safety mechanism called the conviction filter. Here, upper velocity and reaction lines cross upward, suggesting a breakout. But the heavy macro shield at the bottom slopes aggressively downward. Checking the master timeframe anchor, the heavy flow opposes the micro breakout. The engine automatically suffocates the false signal. Systematically filtering out false positives is just as critical as identifying true setups, insulating operators from devastating bull and bear traps. Now we can reconnect the back-end engine to the visual triggers we saw at the start, detailing exactly how the math triggers the geometry. Let's break down the logic of a liquidation sweep, specifically looking at the conditions for a green arrow bull sweep. This chart highlights the 3 strict requirements for a bull sweep. The market must be in a confirmed macro uptrend. Execute a rapid liquidity flush down through the intermediate chassis and immediately snap back above the baseline floor. Once those align, the green arrow fires. Moving from quick pullbacks, we look at the system's final layer of confirmation, the expansion diamonds. This animated diagram shows the structural harmony required for a scion diamond. The fast velocity lines fan upward, the price cleanly breaks above the macro shield, and the master anchor proves active directional momentum. These visual gems translate dense multi-timeframe math into a high-conviction signal based on confirmed structural alignment. To view these metrics across multiple scales, the system includes a global timeframe override, allowing the entire dashboard matrix to scale dynamically. This execution chart shows how you can plot a beautifully smoothed higher timeframe ribbon directly across high-velocity lower timeframe price action, all with zero performance drag. Active alert interfaces run continuously in the background, feeding real-time notifications for structural expansions and liquidation sweeps directly to the operator. By combining live tuple data streaming with a strictly defined structural chassis, the DRW V2.4 maps immediate micro-momentum against institutional macro regimes in real time. The DRW Structural Density Ribbon V2.4 builds a high-velocity cockpit that transforms chaotic order flow into a mathematically precise, zero-latency execution environment.